So this one's a little surprising. The Aethra Chronicles, Volume 1. And as far as I'm aware, there is not a Volume 2 or a Volume 3. And in fact, the Volume 1 here is, given the Shareware version, is actually, you can't go past a certain point in the game. But let's actually get into it here. So what's interesting about this... Oh, here we go. Aethra Chronicles, Volume 1. Celystra Bane? Something like that. But yeah, this is an independently made game, but it's like takes after the whole Dungeons and Dragons formula, but it's not using the Dungeons and Dragons system. It's actually using a completely different role-playing system I never heard of before. So anyways, we got play, start, instructions, or exit. Let's go instructions here. So again, this is like, because this is a role-playing game taking after how the AD&D games worked in DOS, there is a lot to this game. So I don't think I'm going to be able to really give a good example of this in this sort of format of video, but we'll give it a shot nonetheless. So, because yeah, we've got our basic description here. The Aethra Chronicles is an atypical fantasy role-playing game. You'll create several characters, choosing from 12 different classes and 5 different races. Object of the game is to stay alive and advance your characters and levels while completing various quests, which will be made known to you. Aethra Chronicles is shareware and is free to try out. And yeah, as far as I'm aware, the restriction on the shareware version here is that once you get to a certain point, it doesn't give you what you need to progress further. And certain locations that don't need to be visited in the shareware version are completely inaccessible. And we got a bit of a page of backstory here. You live in a small kingdom known as Celystra. Your home is in the town of Stormhaven, which is the capital of the Celystra Kingdom. Your father is a knight paladin and is the king's champion. Your family has fulfilled this honor for generations. It is tradition for the title to be passed down from parent to child, and hopefully you will serve as your father has. Alas, you are an only child. Your mother died when you were a small child. The ship she was traveling on was lost in a storm. Your father never remarried because he refuses to believe she is dead. Her body was not found in the wreckage. I mean, fantasy world, you never know. Lately, events have gone very badly. First, the old king, Koros the Wise, died suddenly of a mysterious illness. The wife of the new king, Aethra, son of Koros, gave birth to a new heir on the new king's coronation day. This great joy suddenly turned to tragedy when 2 days later, the young infant was kidnapped. No one knows who is responsible for this horrible deed. King Aethra blames your father and has charged him with treason for failing to protect the royal family. King Aethra has also dismissed most of his father's retainers in retaliation for the failure to protect his son. Your father, however, has been locked in the dungeons with no hope of release. You know your father is innocent of any wrongdoing. You believe the best way to help your father is to find the missing child and discover who is responsible. With this in mind, you and 2 of your most trusted friends embark upon your quest of redemption. So yeah, you actually play a party of 3 to start with, and I believe you can have up to 6 party members in total. But yeah, like, I mean, look at this here. We've got different races, we've got stats that we got to worry about, and there's even more stats than the typical ones. We got here strength, agility, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, but then we also have presence, memory, and reasoning, which you would think those kind of like all go together in some way in like a basic intelligence stat. Like, I mean, we have an intelligence stat, but... And we got a whole host of different classes to choose from. And then we've got all these different skills. Like, this really does feel like it's like going into that whole sort of deep role-playing experience. Kind of like what Wasteland was as well, with its own unique take on the formulas and everything. But again, this was made primarily by just one person. Like, there were other people who were doing graphics and music and stuff, but for the most part, this was like a solo indie thing. Okay, to be more specific, the graphics do seem to be primarily done by one Philip Mann, and the music and sound by Matthew Mooney. And then it was basically Michael Lawrence doing pretty much everything else. Anyways, let's start the game here. Start on game 1, restart game 1, yes. As ordained by gods long forgotten, unto every creature a name shall be given. Choose wisely, for names hold great power. So yes, we're choosing the name of our character here. So put that in. Each creature bearing a name must belong to a race. Choose ye well. I think I'm going to go for dwarf. And then do some stats here. So I'm not entirely certain how the rolling works here. Okay, so I'm doing a bunch of rolls here, and I am noticing that the way the rolling works, you can end up with distinctly different increases and decreases. Like for this one here, I've got a total decrease of only 15 points and a total increase of 40, 50, 60 points. So you can get some pretty significant differences going here. Actually, this roll here seems pretty decent, so I'm going to keep this roll. And then we're going to add some points here, so I want to get the strength up. In fact, I should probably get constitution up a bit too. And another 5 into strength. 3 points left. Let's put them into more constitution. And then apparently our profession that we can choose for this character is either going to be fighter, rogue, thief, ranger, or cleric. I'm going to go with fighter for this character. And now we got skill points to deal with. Like, this is what I was saying. There is so much going on here. Okay, so the way this seems to work is you've got your current skill advantages and disadvantages listed here. And what ends up happening is when you give yourself a point in a particular skill, like if I have 0 on the handheld arms, if I put 1 tick here, it immediately goes up 23 points. But if I give it a second tick, it only goes up to 26. And then a third only brings it up to 29. So the first tick is worth a lot more than subsequent ticks. And I got 15 to go into any of the boxes that are here. It almost seems like too many, like 15. I could load up a lot of these. Yeah, look at all the look at all the checkboxes you can put in with those 15 skill points with this particular combination here. I guess I'll go with that and then choose a portrait. And then wait, are we already level 2? What? Okay, so is it going to give me like another level here? Yeah, why does it keep leveling me up? Maybe the game is set up in such a way because it's using a pre-existing system. The game is designed around having a particular character levels to start with. That might be why it's doing that for me here. Okay, yeah, it only let me increase my levels 3 times. Although it didn't ask me if I was to confirm my choices on the 3rd try, so that was kind of unusual. But anyways, I gotta create 2 more characters here, so I better get that done. Okay, I've created my party here. The old vizier greets you with open arms and tells you he is glad you have come to him. If anything is to be done for your father, we must act now. Do not believe your father is responsible for the child's kidnapping. My sources tell me magic was involved, possibly dark magery. Your father mentioned something to me about an evil cult. Even though the king has forbidden me to interfere in affairs of state, I have been doing some research on this cult, cannot act directly and therefore will need some help. Are you willing to assist me in vindicating your father? I guess this second option here would probably be to, like, if you're just not gonna play the game or something. But yes, we will help. Who will take item? I guess I will. Research has led me to believe that this evil cult has some dark plan in motion. Need to locate an old book called Prophecies of Doom, which supposedly details the cult's plan. Go see Harmon, a merchant in the warehouse district. Supposedly knows where a copy of this book is. You found the book, bring it to me. Go now, friends. Okay, and now we have our main game screen here. I'm trying to figure out where we are. Okay, so here's all the different commands we have here. So we can change our formation. We got different directions to move, cast spells, look, camp, open door, use items, save, pick locks, dismiss an NPC from party. So if we get other NPCs later on, disarm trap, review character, drop items, and pick up items. All items dropped on the continent or in a city are lost. That's good to know. So if we look at here, you see the home of the old vizier. So I'm guessing that's where we are right now. So if we can move along like this. And it's showing our formation here. Interesting. Because from what I understand, the battles in this game are like tactical type battles, which means I would probably suck at them. But we'll see how this goes. We'll go with this formation here. So I guess the question is, which of these buildings is the merchant? See, nothing of importance. It's probably going to be one of the bigger buildings. Brogar's Choice Goods. Is it the same from every angle? It's the same from every angle. This one is Half Moon Inn. This one is the High Court Inn. Then we got the Mercenaries Guild up here. And over here, nothing of significance. I mean, it might not even be in this particular town. Oh, and I just noticed that time is passing even when I'm not really doing much of anything. So that's good to know here. Which of these were character stats? I think that was character stats. Yeah, so it's showing stats here. Damage 0. I'm not sure if that's like how much damage I've suffered or... one thing I'm noticing is that nobody has any items, so like no equipment or anything, so I should probably actually go buy some things from the merchant. So let's actually head up that way to the merchant. Enter the store, yes. Let's buy some things. Who will bargain? So we got... Oh, we started with quite a lot of money, actually. Yeah, a whole bunch of things we could purchase here. Okay, so I'm going to guess, because my character here is a fighter, that a mail shirt would probably be a good purchase. And then the only real weapon here that seems like would be useful would be a dagger. And then probably a shield as well. Okay, let's equip some stuff here. So equip the dagger. The coloring is weird because it's red when you don't equip it, blue when you do, but green if it's equipped and not selected. So yeah, there is some weirdness with the colors going on here. And yeah, the dagger thing was, that's not affecting anything visible here, so damage is clearly how much damage you've actually taken. Okay, I bought some stuff for our characters here. So this clearly wasn't the right merchant. Well, let's see if we can find some other things if we like move off the edge of the screen here. Okay, so there's some more stuff going on here. Let's see if any of this is relevant. Entrance to the palace. Okay, so this is just the palace then. You know what? I did have that map, didn't I? Which one of these buttons again was to actually use an item? The use item was that one, which has different items on it. So this one here. Select character to use item. Map of region. Okay. That's not actually that helpful. Oh, and it looks like I just left the town I was in. But no, wait, this doesn't make sense in contrast to the map that I've got. I mean, if we look at that map again, map of region. Oh, you know what? We're probably in that sort of lower section right near that island in the bottom, in like the southeast part of the map there. That seems like where we are right now. Well, I mean, we could do some exploring, see if we actually survive any sort of length of time here. I noticed the time is advancing much faster when I move through these sections here. I know it's actually changing the background behind the characters depending on what where we actually are. I didn't get into any encounters. We got to a town of Drenson. Let's see if there's anything here worth going to. Halon's Arms and Armor Shop. Was that the name of the character that we were looking for? Was that the merchant that we needed to talk to? I don't remember. Let's talk to them. Here, the forests around the Ring Mountains are too dangerous to travel through now. It wasn't too long ago when anyone could travel through here as long as you did no harm to the forest. Okay, that doesn't help us that much. Oh, you know what? This guy's got much better weapons. Do I actually want to get a different weapon here? Because I already bought a shield for my character, so why don't I buy a broadsword at least? Like, the game gave me a lot of money to start with. Oh, you know what? I probably have to take off the dagger first. Okay, now it lets me equip the broadsword. So my guess is that it's actually possible to dual wield if you have the right combination of stuff, given the fact that it wouldn't let me just simply switch weapons like that. That's just a guess, though. I mean, at this point, I kind of just want some kind of encounter to occur, just so we get a basic idea of how the battle mechanics works, because it's kind of the last thing to really take a look at without, like, seriously diving into the mechanics and story of this game and everything. Because generally, this show isn't meant to, like, go through a full review of things. Well, that's a very small town. Yeah, this is a very small town. I'm a little surprised there hasn't been an encounter yet. Like, maybe the game is just very resistant to giving random encounters. Heck, maybe there are... Actually, I'm pretty sure... Oh wait, never mind. I was about to say. Okay, so here's our first encounter. What are we up against? Okay, something I don't appreciate here is that I can't pull up the help system. Oh wait, yes I can. There's just no button for it, so you have to push the F1 key. Because I want to make sure I've got like the keys right here. So we've got use handheld weapon, shoot bow, fight unarmed, cast spells, cancel, use item, parry, mythic lore, and attempt to run away. Like these icons here aren't really that well descriptive. Like, I mean, the use item one and the mythic lore one, at least those are different enough that they don't blend in with all the other options here. Anyways, it looks like it's my cleric's turn first. So I don't think the cleric is going to really want to do much here. So is there like a way to... Oh, there was a parry, right? Yeah, so the one where it looks like they're holding their shield up. So that would be that one here. And then there's my spellcaster, so let's cast some magic here. What spells do I have? I've got Mage Light, Spell Shield, Discover Magic, Mage Bow, Mage Cipher, Enchant, Magic Illumination, Dispel Magic, Cancel Attacks. And there's a more. I have a ridiculous number of spells at my command here. I've got these universal spells, and then these chronometry spells, which I don't know what any of these do. There's a lot of them. And then also sorcery spells, one of which is just pain. Like, maybe that's the one I should... Or we've also got something called Bone Break. Ooh, we've also got something here called Balthar's Implosion. Let's do that. Not enough points or levels. I got 12 spell points. That's not enough? Okay, so it would help if it actually told me, like, what the limits were and what all of these actually cost to cast them and everything. I mean, I guess I'll just go Pain. That's going to be a simple enough one. Do Pain on this guy right here. No idea what that did. Anyways, I'm going to parry here as well. Oh, wow. These bandits are not very nice. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to do some healing here, although which... Wait, my cleric doesn't seem to have a healing spell? What? Although Fortitude might be a healing spell. So if we cast that... Not enough... Okay, it's probably not a healing spell then. How does my cleric not have a healing spell? Well, I guess I'm gonna just have to fight things the old-fashioned way here. Which of these was attacking with a weapon? They really should have had better icons for this. The one that looks almost exactly like the parry one. Oh, jeez. Okay, so this one must have valid target. Okay, how do I... Okay, that wasn't it. Yeah, it says here when selecting a combat action that valid targets will be highlighted. So maybe I just wasn't close enough? Like if I do it with this character, okay, it says I can well-placed strike. Okay. And then back to this character again. He did regain some spell points, so it does look like you recharge your spell points between rounds or something like that. So let's try another one of these. Can we do Bone Break? Not enough points or levels. Okay, we'll just go with Pain. That seems to be a simple enough one. Select target. I guess that target? And my character's now dead. Yeah, this battle's not going so well. Yeah, first fight of the game and I am seriously outmatched. And there goes the rest of my party. The old vizier greets you with open arms and tells you he is glad you have come to him. If anything is to be done for your father... Wait, did it just... Wait, what just happened? Interesting. I think the game... Yeah, the game just reset my... Or no, wait, it says gold 1950... Is that what I started with, or... Yeah, so it looks like what happened is that if you die, the game just immediately reloads your last save. And since I had saved, it just put me right back to the start of the game here. But yeah, because this is such a massive RPG, I don't think I can really do this justice in the short form format of this ADG-se video series. Like, this would need, like, a proper video. There's just one problem. The full game isn't really available anymore. In fact, it wasn't available for that long to begin with. From what I understand, the reason the second and third games never got made is because even the first game was impossible to purchase just a few years after it was released. So, yeah, this is a game that is very effectively abandoned. So, like, I mean, I could theoretically just cover the full game anyways, because copies of it do exist, like, on less legitimate places. But the trick is that this is a massive RPG for, especially given how few people were involved with making it. At the same time, though, in the short amount of time I spent playing this just now, it does seem like there are some deficiencies here. The icons are not as well laid out as they should be, especially in combat, because the combat icons are all so incredibly similar to each other. Like, what we have here is a game that seems like it is well suited and well established, like it has a lot of stuff to it that is perfectly suited for somebody who understands what's going on in terms of the logic and the lore and the mechanics and everything. So with the particular game system that this is based off of, if you understood that game system well enough, then this would probably make perfect sense, and you'd be able to play this to a much greater degree than someone coming into this with virtually no knowledge of what's going on. And that's actually more a deficiency of the interface than of the person who's going to play the game. Like, when you play... Like, that even happens with some of the Dungeons & Dragons games, from what I understand, so that's not a unique problem to this game, or a unique problem to early RPGs in general. But then the other thing here, too, is that this game was released in 1994. So there were some precedents set by this point in time. So this game should have done a better job to explain itself, especially given the fact it was using a game system that wasn't as well established as Dungeons & Dragons. So that means less people are familiar with it, which means it's not going to be as easy for people to adapt to it if they've never played a game using that system before. But yeah, the Aethra Chronicles Volume 1. A massive amount of game here, if you're willing to get into it, but clearly not something you can just drop in and play instantly.